What's up, YouTube? It's Eric, a Lions fan. Thanks for clicking on this video. Welcome to the 2018 kind of season in review for me from my perspective. This is just going to be kind of my perspective looking at all the games here. Now, I know I didn't go through all 16 games because I was gone doing some stuff for work and here and whatnot, but I'm going to kind of give my perception of the Detroit Lions season as it kind of went based on kind of what I feel. I kind of want to give a shout out to a bunch of people that kind of watch my content and whatnot. I don't know if it necessarily everybody does here, but Derek P. Fields, Everything King, Man Beast Morris, Through and Three Hitman, um, Through and Three JMO, East Warren LB, Hammer Down 48, Michigan 1777. Goodness, there's a whole bunch of other folks. You should know one. All those guys, I really do, and all the people that have subscribed and my viewers that have viewed my content in the past, and maybe you guys like my content, maybe you guys don't, but I really do appreciate you guys viewing my content, and make sure you guys consider hitting that subscribe button, okay, and hit that bell notification so you guys get more videos just like this one. But as you guys can see, I got Wikipedia up here, and I also, the other tab up in the corner there is Pro Football Reference. I don't think I'm going to necessarily go to Pro Football Reference unless maybe I need to look at some stats and all that, which I don't think I necessarily need to do. But I have the staff up here real quick because we all know that JBC is gone. And with JBC being gone, I think it's maybe kind of a gift and a curse for Detroit. I understand why people kind of wanted him gone because they thought that he was hindering the offense. And I think some of that goes on the blame for Matt Patricia. I think Matt Patricia kind of maybe needs to get his hands off of that and to maybe be more. And the same thing, which I'm going to say in my kind of the prelude to the Michigan season in review video with Jim Harbaugh. I think maybe he needs to be less hands-on and maybe more of a manager kind of offense and the defense, kind of putting the game plans into place and let the two coordinators kind of do their job, and let whoever the offensive coordinator is going to be do their job, and let Pasqualoni kind of do their thing. But I do want to give some criticism, and I want to say this is constructive criticism for the offensive line coaches. There's two of them. There's Jeff Davidson, which you can kind of see right down here, and Hank Fraley. Those two, I think, deserve some of the blame here for getting the offense. That's part of their job, is to get the offensive line play to play at their peak. And there was times throughout the year where they didn't give Stafford enough time. I mean, Stafford had quite a bit of sacks. I can't remember. I'd have to go to Pro Football Reference here, and I don't want to make this video long and drawn out, but I'd have to go to Pro Football Reference to try to get that how many sacks that he had done. And maybe we might go over here at the last part here to try to see where we're at. But those two gentlemen there really have to get the pass protection down to give Stafford at least 1 to 2 more seconds so he can scan the field for the right person to throw it to. I think too many times Stafford kind of dinked and dunked. And I think that was maybe part of JBC's game plan, but again, maybe not. Maybe he just didn't feel confident in the throws and to put him down in the dink and dunk kind of thing, and kind of let the player do what they do best. But I kind of wish we would have gone more downfield, maybe kind of spread the ball around to Golladay and to the two Jones boys there that were on AJ, and I think one was Andy. I think that's what what the two names are, excuse me. But I think and maybe some of the other wide receivers that were on the team, I think if they distribute the ball around a little bit more, I think that they'll be better off. But that's just my opinion. I don't want to get too far off onto here. I think maybe the rest of the offense right there is pretty good now. As you can see, the offensive coordinator is vacant because JBC is now gone. They didn't renew his contract. Some people think it was that they fired him. It was just more or less they didn't renew his contract. At least that's what I read on, I think it was on the Free Press or Detroit News, maybe M Live. It was one of those online papers that you can read that said that was going to happen. So it's not a big surprise that was going to happen because the offense was kind of lethargic. They still have problems going into the red zone and scoring down there. I kind of wish we would kind of get up and maybe have a little bit more urgency in the red zone. Maybe that's our focus needs to be in 2019. Really should always be our focus no matter what year we're in. Pounding the ball in there and getting it done. I would like to see more run and pass, which to me, I think we've done a good job at it. We'll go through what we're going to do here is we're going to go through the roster, and then we're going to go through how Wikipedia has it on here, and we're going to go through the game by game here. But again, there were some stories on here that I didn't necessarily get to see, and we'll just do the little one paragraph thing that Wikipedia has on here. But yeah, I think that Jeff and Hank really have to get the offense, especially the pass defense, figured out. Give Stafford 1 or 2 more seconds so he can maybe sling that ball down the field a little bit more and give him some more confidence here as well. The defensive coaches, I guess pretty much everybody here gets the blame, but we all know it's on Pascaloni's shoulders that he's going to get most of the blame here. I think the linebackers coach, Al Golden, probably deserves maybe some blame here. I'm not going to blame him too bad because the defensive line, Bo Davis, has to also do a better job at that, especially at the run defense. I mean, we got gashed many, many times throughout the year. And some people said, hey, Eric, I kind of touted this in the preseason, like, look, man, we got some problems on the defense. Oh, no, we'll be okay. It's going to be a totally different team than what we see in the preseason. Well, look what happened. A lot of the stuff that happened in the preseason kind of reared its ugly head into the regular season. And that really halfway to 3/4 of the way through the season, that was the same stuff that was happening. And I don't really understand why. Maybe it was just the change of coaching that was in there. Maybe it had something to do with it. But I don't necessarily know why that is. But a lot of the defensive coaches get the blame here, especially for the run defense. That has to get shorter because you cannot have gashes upon gashes of the opposing team's running back just kind of have the field day with your defense. That just can't happen. There's not really much else to go on here, so let's kind of get down into the players area here, where it's the roster is continuing as people come and go or getting let go and putting on here. And I think this is probably the best bet to go for the Lions, kind of the roster stuff. Let's kind of start right here with Matthew Stafford and Matt Castle. I already kind of pointed out what Matthew Stafford kind of needs to do. He needs to do less thinking, dunking, and do more passing down the field, and maybe do a couple of more bombs down the field. I didn't think we did that enough, and that's kind of been Matthew Stafford's MO. He doesn't like to throw that long ball for some reason. I don't understand why. Even if he overthrows the wide receiver, I think that's probably a good thing, at least to keep the defense honest, to maybe say, hey, maybe Matt might hit somebody this time. But I've never really been a fan of Matthew Stafford kind of going the long ball because he's not accurate at the long throws. I mean, really, what quarterback isn't very accurate at that point? But he seems to be less accurate than, I'll say, Aaron Rodgers or Ben Roethlisberger, to name a few of those. He just doesn't seem to have that knack to put the ball up into the air and have his wide receiver come down with it, especially even when we had Calvin Johnson. That didn't ever seem to happen there. I'm going on to the running backs now, kind of where LeGarrette Blount is. I think that Kerryon Johnson, that guy's the man. He needs to be our number one running back. I don't think LeGarrette's going to be back. I think he did too much juking instead of kind of running. When there was a hole, he just run right towards a hole. I think he tried to do too much juking to try to fake out the defensive player that was on the other side. I think some of the times if he would have just ran and just kind of pounded the ball down there, I think he would have done better than what he did this season to me. Now, I don't know what his final, like I said, have to go to Pro Football Reference to get that information. I don't want to bore you guys with all that, but the eye test kind of made me look, if he would have just kind of ran north and south, he would have got more yards. Let's just put it that way. Theo Riddick, I think, was better even though he's kind of as a running back, I think he's kind of a converted kind of wide out here a little bit. He can play wide out, maybe in the slot, and he can do some running back duties. I think he's kind of your versatile player that I think the Lions need to keep. And Zach Zenner here, too. I think he's, especially against second and third string defenses, he's pretty decent. I'll give it that. But against the first team defense, I really haven't seen a whole lot of Zach Zenner with the first team, so I'll admit I really can't comment on that. The wide receivers, I think they've done a good job. I don't think there's really anything to really say about those. Like I said, I do think they would get more. I think they need to get more touches and hopefully a better 2019 coming in here. The tight ends, I don't think we have done a whole lot with our tight ends because, guys, let me just go over the offense here real quick. I know I'm kind of spreading it all around here if you're this far into the video. The tight ends were only targeted 11% of the time, and that kind of got to go up. I know we targeted them down where we were in the red zone more than what we did when we went kind of down the field, but this is just me sitting here at home watching on television, as the Lions need to focus more on the tight ends as they march down the field here, because I think that maybe the tight ends get lost when they play the Lions because the Lions just don't target the tight ends as much as they did anymore. Now, I don't know, maybe that's because Eric Ebron, now he's left, maybe that kind of leaves that Matthew Stafford just doesn't want to throw to those tight ends. I don't know that, but I'm just kind of throwing out maybe hypotheticals at this point here for Matthew Stafford. But I do think the tight ends need to get more involved as we march down the field, or at least a part of the offense, instead of only being in the red zone, which we'll get into the red zone here in just a little bit before we get into the as I get through the roster here. Offensive linemen have done okay. I think TJ Lang's probably not going to come back because of his injury history. I think Joe Dahl, we have heard him wanting to try a fullback role, and that may happen, that may not happen. I don't know. I think he's trying to maybe elongate his NFL career, maybe to help out in the fullback area. I know that's kind of Bellor's kind of thing. I don't know. I haven't really seen enough of him. I think he's done an okay job with a little bit that I've seen him. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see how that all happens. Decker, I think, was a good pickup. Glasgow was a good center. Who's the other? Frank Ragnow is a beast. That dude, I really like him. I like him quite a bit. I hope he's a good one for us. I think Wagner and Wiggins have done also a good job with what we've done. But it's just our pass defense needs to get better. I think everyone here is capable of doing better on the pass defense. It's just like I said, the two folks up above here, which are come back up here. Jeff Davidson and Hank Fraley just have to do a better job at that. And I don't want to kind of keep beating on a dead horse. I think we've done that enough. Defensive lineman, I think Hyder was a good pickup. Snacks Harrison was a good pickup. I think that helped out our run defense quite a bit. That's me. But still, I think especially at the linebacker course, kind of got to get better. I don't know. I think Jared Davis still runs kind of rampant that back there in the linebacker core. I don't think he's quite got down what he thinks he needs to do here. I think he's still playing it back on his Florida days where he could kind of go wherever he wanted to and be the man back there. But I think he still needs some coaching and maybe some driving some points home, because to me, I thought the linebacker core was probably the worst on the team. That group right there kind of needs to get to me, needs to get better at, because you can't have the running backs having a field day against the defense. Defensive backs, I think everyone's done good here except for Nevin Lawson. He gets $9.2 million over 2 years, and with his first year, I think the first one was maybe $4 million, something like that. You can find somebody else at $4 million, way less than $4 million a year to do what Nevin Lawson did. I don't think he'll be around next year. Everybody else kind of seems to be good. Some people think Glover Quinn's days are over. I would like to see him come back if he's willing to come back. I don't know if he's at the end of his contract or if the Lions are going to think about cutting him. Guys, I'll admit, I don't know a whole lot about the contracts and all that sort of stuff. I don't get into the X's and O's, into the contract stuff, but probably like I should. But I would like to see Glover Quinn kind of come back. Slay's been money for us. Killebrew, I think, has done. Quandre Diggs is another guy that's been good for us. Trayvon Wilson, I think, has done okay. Like I said, the defensive backs are not the problem here, except for maybe Lawson. I don't think they're the problem. Special teams, I'm not going to go into a whole lot about, because the special teams play is always going to be average for me. But I did like on the last game of the year where Prater threw that touchdown. I think it was to, I want to say Luke Wilson, but I don't know if that's necessarily right. But whoever caught that ball was good, and I kind of made I'll admit it, on Facebook, I kind of put, is Matt Prater going to be our backup quarterback? Just kind of playing off and maybe kind of snarking a little bit at Matt Castle. But I know that if Matthew Stafford went down, Matt Castle probably couldn't do the job, but we know the season would be over then. The reserve list, I'm kind of going to go through. I liked Agnew's play too. Who's another one on here? Deshaun Hand. I liked his play a lot too. TJ Lang is probably not going to be back because of his injury history. Ashawn Robinson, I think, done good. Roberts, I think, has done a hell of a job. I think he deserves to come back. Like I said, the contract stuff I don't get into, guys. I don't know whose contract's good and whose contract's bad. But yeah, pretty much everybody else on here is, I think, has done at least a decent job, which I thought Jake Rudock kind of being a part of the practice squad, I think to me is more or less Jake knows what he's doing there for the offense and knows the people knows what plays need to be ran, and that's probably why he's on the practice squad and not on the 53-man roster. Just kind of wanted to go out there and get that done. We're going to go through the preseason schedule here and kind of go. We're not going to really focus on it all that much. Our only win here was against Tampa Bay. Like I said, the other 4 here we had big problems with the run defense. Big problems. And like I said here, the first 2, the New York Jets should have never been a loss. We knew the New York Jets were not going to be a very good team, and it ends up being that the New York Jets weren't a very good team, yet the Lions got spanked by them, especially in that third quarter when I was out doing our conference out in Grand Rapids, and we watched some of the game out there, and I'm like, what the? It was 17-17 last I looked, and then I went up to my hotel room, and I think it was something like 40-something to 17. I said, how in the hell did they score 30-some points on Detroit? How did that happen? Well, I don't know why it happened, but it happened. We should have never lost to San Francisco either. I think that should have been a win as well. And then we ended up, after our 2 losses, we were going to go to New England and think, we're going to get blown out by New England. But we ended up winning against New England, which I will say this. I think Bill Belichick wanted to get his protege's first win. So he probably told the guys, look, whatever happened there, I don't want to necessarily put words in Bill Belichick's mouth, but I think that New England didn't play to their potential to win the game. Well, let's just put it that way. And I will admit, Matt Patricia pretty much knew what probably New England was going to do there, and it ended up being a win. Against Dallas again, I thought they should have won against Dallas. We ended up winning against Green Bay when they were at home, and we ended up winning at Miami, which I thought we were probably going to lose there. And then we start going on our big kind of losing streak chunks here. Seattle, Minnesota, Chicago, not surprising to have 3 losses there. Then we ended up winning against Carolina, which, how would that happen? I thought that was going to be a loss. A loss against Chicago, a loss against Los Angeles, not big surprise. A win against Arizona, which I thought was going to be another loss. I didn't see a win anywhere in here, I'll admit. I did not see a win anywhere in here. I thought we were going to lose all our games. I thought we were only going to be, 2-14, 2-3-13 at the time. I didn't see a win against Carolina, Arizona, or Green Bay. I just didn't. But I was going to say if we had one win, it was probably going to be at Buffalo, and we really couldn't do that either, win against the Buffalo Bills. And the Bills weren't that great of a team either. So with all this kind of going through here, I'm going to come up here instead of scrolling through and going through everything. I think we probably really should have been. What I seen was an 8-8 team that ended up with a 6-10 record. I'll put it that way. I don't think we were necessarily as bad as what our records showed. I think maybe some of the players have bought into what Matt Patricia's done, but I still think they probably need another year to get full commitment from the Lions to say what Matt Patricia wants to do. And maybe they took maybe a step back with the firing of JBC being the offensive coordinator. Or not really the firing, just not renewing his contract. I don't necessarily see what we're going to need in the what Bob Quinn really has us seeing in the 2018 season. 2019 season. I see we need a linebacker. I think we need some probably defensive linemen. We need a wide receiver. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea to do a tight end. Some people say we need a quarterback to kind of challenge Matthew Stafford more. I don't see that happening, guys. I'm going to give Matthew Stafford one more year. And then if he still can't do it with the new offensive coordinator, this is perceiving that that Patricia's going to kind of let the reins go on the offense and on the defense and be more of that managerial style of manager instead of being, okay, so-and-so, you're going to do this. Pascaloni, you're going to do this part, have free reign of the defense and just here's what I want to do for my concepts, the offensive defensive coordinators get the job done. So I hope there's more free reign on Matthew Stafford so he can kind of check plays to kind of do what he wants to do. I hope there isn't less dinking and dunking on his part. I don't think Matthew Stafford, to me, my overall goal with Matthew Stafford is, or not my overall goal, my overall thoughts on Matthew Stafford is he's not the guy. He is not the guy. But I'm willing to push that off and to give him one more year, and then if that happens, then the Lions can do whatever they want with him. Just the marriage between Detroit and Matthew Stafford just doesn't seem to be there. But guys, let me know what you guys think of this. Did I go over it correctly? Is there parts? I know this is a long video. If you've made it this far, God bless you. But this is kind of my thoughts. I know I'm back up here on the final roster. I know that Bob Quinn is probably going to get us good players. And with the last game from the Green Bay Packers kind of screwing up our draft pick, I think that Bob Quinn knows what he's doing. He had a kind of, I don't want to say a knockout draft last time, but a pretty good draft last year. And I kind of see he's probably going to redo it this year. I don't know who's out there that the Lions really need to target on, but I'm sure Patricia and Quinn and the offensive defensive coordinators, whoever the offensive coordinator is going to be, and Pasqualoni, they'll know what to do. And with the front office folks, they'll get it done. They'll get it done. I have no. I kind of like what Bob Quinn's done. He's had some misses there, but really, I think he'll do a good job here. Like I said, I think we have to get a linebacker. I think we're going to have to get. I think a defensive back probably wouldn't be a bad idea to get either. Maybe a defensive lineman. We definitely wide receivers got to be at the top of us to help out Kenny Golladay. And Andy Jones and TJ Jones, those guys have got to step up, along with Marvin Jones. Man, it seems we have a lot of receivers named Jones. What's up with that? But, yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Do you guys think I'm right? Do you guys think I'm wrong? Do you guys think something else? Let me know down in the comments, guys. I mean, I would really like to know what you guys think. And I always try to, at least in the mornings, get back to your guys' comments and to maybe comment back to say, hey, that's something that I didn't think about. I think you're maybe wrong here. Like I said, guys, I'm just a guy that just sits on the couch, watches the games, and just does the best job I can with what I think, what I've seen. So, guys, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Consider hitting that subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell notification so you guys get more videos just like this one. And guys, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you guys again soon. I'm gonna try to do a video on the NFL draft, even though I'm not the biggest guru on the NFL draft, but I'm gonna give my thoughts and kind of what I think on here. But it's gonna be towards at the end of the draft. I'm not gonna do one while the draft's going on. So, guys, I mean, hopefully the 2019 Lions are better than the 18. Okay, guys, see you later. Deuces.